soy yo la que es esto. So, hello everybody, here I am. Ooh. For 1 second, you saw our special guest for today. We are the Holland Alumni Network and Maria. I came to the Netherlands back in 2012 to study at Tilburg University. So anybody who is from the South, Brabant, etc. So I came to study, and that's how I know about the Netherlands, and that's how I know about Brabant. And before that, I never heard about Tilburg. So for me, landing as a student in the Netherlands was the way to go. And I stayed longer. I started my own business. Well, I continue my own business in the Netherlands, and I am there to support people who want to start their business, but also within the Holland Alumni Network, we started hosting these events on a regular basis. And today we're featuring a new event format that is called In the Spotlight. So basically, if you heard about Humans of New York, Humans of Amsterdam, we're showcasing real stories. You know, we need to keep it real as a community. We're big as a community. I was really impressed checking the numbers yesterday. 80,000 people have studied in the Netherlands and went all over the globe. So we have 80,000 people in our community, and 8,000 are in our community for the Netherlands. So I'm not the only crazy Colombian who decided to stay in the Netherlands. I live in Amsterdam since 2014. You can contact me there and have a face-to-face coffee. And today we're going to be drinking a virtual coffee with our special guest, Jonathan Kaplinsky. What a coincidence. His name sounds like from somewhere else, but he's also Colombian, living also in Amsterdam. You will meet him now. So here he is.
Hi, Maria. Good to see you again. Great to be in the spotlight.
I'm really happy, I'm really honored to start this whole series of events about meet people, students, alumni, professionals who are making an amazing job in landing into the Netherlands, and that we can also transfer that experience. You know, how was it for us? Everything, you know, struggles and things that we like about being in the Netherlands. And basically today we're going to focus a lot on career development. So this is a live Q&A, so feel free to please share or join our conversation. We have some interesting questions planned out. That's good. So that we make sure that you can really post your questions via comments. I'm going to be looking at you as we speak with Jonathan. So first of all, little introduction, and then we can get started with the questions. And please stay until the end, because we're going to be also announcing our upcoming events. We have something huge happening by the end of this year, and we want to just warm up with this event onwards to invite you and build a good momentum. So, Jonathan, let's get started. Who you are, where are you from, why the Netherlands?
Yeah. Thank you. As you said, I'm another proud Colombian who's not living in Colombia, missing many things from our country, but excited to be having this experience in Europe. So basically, I moved to the Netherlands 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. I live in Amsterdam. It's been a great experience. I moved here because I work for Hasbro, the US-based toy and entertainment company. And I have been working for Hasbro for almost 9 years. It's going to be 9 years in February. And this is my most recent role in Amsterdam, being able to lead the marketing teams for the countries where we do not have a local office, for all Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So it's a great role where we manage more than 20 countries from here with a very diverse team. And yeah, I guess I will tell you more about that.
Wow, that's good and impressive, because people think, you come and then you start working in a cafe and whatever. Like, no, there's a lot of internationals doing amazing jobs and having high positions with a lot of responsibilities like Jonathan. And we want to also share how you got there, you know, because it sounds like, yeah, good job to have. Amazing company. How do you do that? So let's talk a little bit more about your story. You know, first of all, about your landing, landing within the Dutch labor market. How was it? How did you came to the Netherlands? How was your process?
Yeah, but basically everything started before coming to the Netherlands. It was during my role at Hasbro in Latin America. I made it very clear for everybody that I wanted an opportunity out of Latin America. So first of all, a few months making the internal job of making the correct people aware that I was ready and I was looking for an experience out of Latin America to learn from different markets out of Latin America. So basically, that is the beginning of the story. And I think that's the first thing to start with, because when you have the opportunity to work in a global or international company, it doesn't mean you will have international opportunities unless you start with the first step, which is making people aware of what you really want. So basically, I got the information that this business unit was being created and they were looking for a marketing manager here. So I basically applied to the role, and after a long selection process, both internal and external, I got the opportunity to come here and I was selected. So basically, I came here in October 2 years ago. I arrived on a Sunday, and Monday I was already in the office.
Wow. So no time for jet lag and so.
No time. I had never been in the Netherlands before. Yeah, I had only been in Europe before for 2 weeks, and the Netherlands was not of the countries not visited.
But that's a good insight already, the fact of communicate what you want, sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm waiting for that big opportunity abroad, and you just started like that, you need to plant that seed and start socializing your intention within the company. Otherwise, who's going to know that? Who knows that that's your goal,
Absolutely. I have met a lot of colleagues or people in my teams that they say they want an opportunity. And when you ask them what is exactly what you want, they don't know. And they say, I don't know, but I want an opportunity. I want my next step. But the next step or the next opportunity, it means many different things for many people. Yeah. Not everybody wants to grow exactly in a vertical way for the next role or more responsibility or change country. Not everybody's open for that. So communicating in very detail exactly what you want as a next step for your career to the correct people as well is definitely a very important thing to start with.
100%. So communicate what you want, number one. So you landed in the Netherlands with like 0 time for jet lag, 0 time to go around the beautiful canals, and you were right into the office next day, right? So
exactly. I went to the office. I was with my Google Maps trying to find it. Where is it? It's close to the football stadium, to the Ajax stadium. So for football like me, it's quite exciting to see the office right next to this beautiful stadium. And I got to the office, and well, you expect to see Dutch people, right? You're in the Netherlands. And yes, there's the Benelux team from Hasbro. Well, most of the team members there are from the Netherlands. But then in my office, actually almost nobody is from the Netherlands. So we are around about 20 employees in our business unit. And we are, if I'm not wrong, from 13 different nationalities. 20
Welcome
people.
To the Netherlands.
This is Amsterdam. That's how Amsterdam is, which is great. I mean, can you imagine how excited you are to get to the office and you're being introduced and they say, I'm from Russia, I'm from Turkey, I'm from New Zealand, I'm from Germany, Colombia, Brazil.
You name it. You were not expecting that, right? You were just expecting about 2 meters high people, all blonde, and saying "Alles gut."
yeah. That was basically the first impression I got for my first day in the office here. So an international experience, definitely a very, very international experience, which is at the same time very exciting and challenging as well. You can imagine every single conversation, both officially or unofficially, just having lunch brings a lot of new learnings with this diverse team. It also has, of course, challenges. You can imagine how you must adapt yourself and your leadership style to this new reality.
So let's talk about that. And and because of that, I also want to welcome to everybody who's watching and join the conversation, please, because we have prepared some questions, but we're also curious about what you think. And also, feel free to ask anything to Jonathan. We really are in the whole campaign of there's no stupid questions here. So anything you want to know about whatever he's talking about, please let us know. Even if it's not super on topic, feel free to ask anything. So let's talk about challenges. You were talking about like what were the most important challenges when relocating to the Netherlands when, since you arrived?
I would start with, let's say, in terms of work, the same thing that makes it very exciting, the diversity and the very diverse team, is at the same time a challenge, especially for in the leadership style that you have and that you're used to. So you need to understand a new reality. You are definitely getting out of your comfort zone. And at the beginning, that's not easy. It always pays off, and it always brings development and growth, both personally and professionally. But it is a challenge. At the beginning, things that you may thought that were agreed or the communication should have worked, in the reality with this very diverse team, it's not like that. So you have to learn a lot how to be able to communicate in an efficient and effective way with your team and the rest of the team members. So that is quite challenging. For the rest, it is a very easy city to live in, Amsterdam or Netherlands as a country as well. A few days
for us as Colombians, we see it as a really tiny country where everything is so accessible, right? Like
it's so easy.
So easy to live.
It's so easy to live here. A few days after you arrive, I already had all my papers, all my documents, even driver license, everything ready. Moving around the city is extremely easy. You don't actually need to speak Dutch, so you can live in Amsterdam without speaking the native language, which I am trying to learn Dutch actually, because I really want to, but it makes it complicated to learn because practicing is not easy and you don't need it. So you move around.
And 90% of Dutch people are fluent in English, so it makes it really difficult for us to really go for Dutch, like really switch to Dutch. But speaking about Dutch people, we have here Emil, and he's asking us, like, he's wondering how so far your experiences were, working directly with Dutch people, like we're known to be like quite direct, for example. How do you experience that in comparison to other international colleagues?
I think that's there are a few things that are different, and I have had the chance to work in Latin America, not only in Colombia but also in Chile and with other markets like Argentina and Peru. And the way that the Dutch people make business is something that I appreciate a lot. Being so direct, because I think everybody or most of people knows that Dutch people are famous for being direct and open in what they want to say. Business-wise, it makes things easier. You don't lose time making proposals that you don't know if they're going to be accepted or not, if you need to move forward or not. So the way that Dutch people are being that direct, it makes things easier business-wise. Also, I find the way of working here very efficient. So people prioritize a lot work-life balance. So you don't see a lot of people coming before 9 a.m. to the office, and you don't see a lot of people staying after 5 p.m. Very different to Colombia, which is something I appreciate a lot. It's not that Dutch people work less. They do work less hours, but when they are working, they are working. From 9 to 5 working, maybe a 20-minute break for lunch.
Which is a cold sandwich.
I'm not gonna say
usually something really fast, really efficiently. It's about being efficient, right? And making work. That's it. Yeah. In Colombia, you have friends at work, and you're just having friendships and coffees and meetings that take way longer. We know that as Colombians. So work-life balance is also a plus and is appreciated for you as an international. Highly appreciated.
Highly appreciated. Another thing I appreciate a lot is how open-minded people are here. I think it's a country that historically has been used to receive people from different backgrounds. It's not recent. It's from history. It's very important. Actually, I'm Jewish, and I know how the Netherlands received Jewish people in the 16th and 17th century. So it's been receiving people from different backgrounds in history, and it makes it quite comfortable to work here and to really be who you are. So people are very practical here. If it works for them business-wise, let's go ahead. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. So it is also a very important thing to highlight, to my mind.
Good to know. We have another question. I'm going to prioritize the questions from the audience on top of our questions. That's how good I am. So we have a question from Juliana. What has been the hardest thing of living in the Netherlands work-wise?
I would say, let's say the hardest thing is not knowing the deep of the culture. So when you really want to work in a field like mine, which is marketing, there are several things that will work, let's say, in a global perspective. But you really need to understand in a deeper way the culture of both the consumer and customers, for example, both internal customers or external customers, and that's something that takes time. So it takes time to understand what are the motivations for the local people, what are the barriers that you can find as well. So I think that applies for any place where you are new to and that you are not close to the culture. And of course, Colombia and the Netherlands are quite different in terms of culture. So for me, different to my previous experiences in Latin America, which we share many things with the rest of Latin American countries as Colombians. In the Netherlands, we do not share a lot of things culturally. So it took time for me to understand those things and be aware of what is important for people here.
So far, what is the conclusion? I'm curious about your conclusion from this.
That's a difficulty that there's not much you can do. The only thing you can do is stay here long enough until you understand the culture. And the one thing I have done, which is, as I mentioned, I don't work directly with a lot of Dutch people. So I have been trying to meet as much Dutch people as I can. And I don't know, for example, in LinkedIn, maybe you've seen, actually, I think that's the first time we met, it was because of this strategy. So I launched a personal strategy saying, free Colombian coffee in Amsterdam. Yeah, with a picture.
That's a good one.
Drinking a Colombian coffee. My objective was to meet as many local people as possible. Not necessarily to look for opportunities for the future, but to be closer to the culture, to understand the culture, and make that process of understanding for me quicker.
I'm curious about it. So when you post this free Colombian coffee, what happened? How many people you met because of this?
Yeah, I met, if I'm not wrong, I had 12 coffees.
Wow.
I had 12 coffees. I had to stop in March for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
When we couldn't meet in person. Then I did a few more digitally. But I met 12 people, mostly Dutch. And that met, let's say, my objective of having the opportunity to meet Dutch people. And I have to say, I had the opportunity to meet great people, mostly entrepreneurs. This is another thing that nobody asked me now, but I think is very important to highlight. The entrepreneurial spirit in the Netherlands and in Dutch people is something I really, really want to highlight. It's very strong here, how people want to build their own businesses, how people really want to create something new, and how people are so open also for making connections, because you don't know who is going to help you in the future. So yeah. I have positive feedback of this strategy to meet people, much more than I thought. Yeah, immediately people I don't know were telling me, I like this post, let's go for a coffee. And at the beginning, you may think as people that maybe wants to sell me something, they see I work for Hasbro, maybe it's an agency and they want to send me. Actually not. People, owners from their own businesses, higher ranking employees from other companies that they just wanted to take the chance to meet somebody new. So I think it's a great learning for myself, how I proactively decided to meet new people, and it worked.
So 2 lessons here. 1, Colombians, we always have good coffee with us. Look at me. And look at Jonathan. And second, dare to ask, you
Yeah.
know, he dared to ask before, you know, in your previous, you know, when you were in Latin America and you mentioned specifically what you wanted. Like, you know, my goal is to get out of here and have a career outside Latin America, and boom, you got it, you know. And the second is like, I want to get to know the culture. Let's post this on LinkedIn, and boom, magic happens. I did a similar thing. I talked to a lot of strangers, and I put myself in that position that you might feel like, oh, I'm shy. I'm not. I had never done that. But in the end, it worked. It worked out that people were willing to share that coffee with you without any other interest whatsoever. So putting yourself out there as an international, especially when understanding and getting to know the local culture, is a must, however you do it. Let's move to Juliana's question. She is asking about Dutch. So does not speaking Dutch give you a disadvantage as a professional? So what's your experience so far?
Yeah, my experience so far has not been like that because yeah, as you know, I already came in with the job, yeah, with the company I have been working for a few years. Um, it was not necessarily for my role because, as I mentioned as well, we do not manage the Netherlands. We manage other countries in Europe, Africa, Middle East. So we manage everything in English. So for me, it has not been a disadvantage at all. I have met some people for whom it has closed some doors. Yeah. So there's a percentage of companies that will ask for, or depending on the role, of course, or the area within the company, that will ask for Dutch language speaking people. But I would say that's less than 50% of the companies. I
Yeah,
would say that yes, you will lose some opportunities, but it's not a reason or a stopper that you cannot make your career here.
I agree. Of course, we promote that people learn as much, you know, as possible from the culture, and getting to like learning Dutch is something that will immediately plug you into the culture. So we really advise you to learn, and we're actually opening a course for that. So we're also going to share the link so you can join our Dutch group lessons. But as Jonathan said, it hasn't been for me an obstacle either. You know, I'm all about entrepreneurship and starting my own business and going out there to find clients, and I can do this 100% in English. Of course, I noticed that when I use some words in Dutch, people are like, ah, thumbs up. But that doesn't mean that you cannot get what you want, you know, like you cannot get the job that you want, or you cannot start the business that you want. So I think just, you know, like the message here is go for it. And if just working, having good English, and put yourself out there. Because in the Netherlands, we have a culture of internationals, and we have a culture of helping each other within that international environment, right? So Emil was adding, if you were also checking meetups, or like, you know, he really liked the story about the Colombian coffee. But if you, he's curious about if you have also tried other things to meet Dutch people, or
Yeah,
more about the culture.
at the beginning, I used the Meetup app to meet some people. At the end, I didn't use it a lot. With my own LinkedIn connections, it was enough for me to meet as much people as possible. Business-wise, in the personal side, I also managed to get some groups of people where, for me, it's important for make sports together, etc., to have some friends as well. But yeah, there are many different options here to expand the networking and meet people. And definitely, as Juliana mentioned, I would encourage anybody who comes here from the beginning to start learning the language. It's something that may take more or less time, depends on you. For me, it's taking quite some time, but definitely from the beginning, I understood if you see yourself here in the long term, like I do, it's something that is going to be important. I want to feel more part of the community.
That's important, and you're in the good track for it. So far, you want to stay in the Netherlands regardless of the cold. No, well, you're going to
Absolutely.
experience your first winter like now, because you arrived. When did you arrive again?
2 years ago, so this is going to be
No, this is going to be more
the
winter.
third winter. Yeah,
So then, if you
it's
say I
not
want
that
to
bad.
stay in the Netherlands after winter, as a Colombian, means you want to stay. Yeah, because you already passed the test.
It's not that bad.
Definitely.
I thought it was going to be worse.
So I have another comment here from Emil. Actually, I can show it like this. Look. So as a Dutch person, I think most Dutch people are fine speaking English, which is completely true, but really appreciate it if people make an effort speaking Dutch. Yes, I can say who had it. At the same time, we realize that Dutch is a tough language. Yes, Emil, it is, especially when you speak Spanish. But gratis is Spanish, eh? Gratis. It's from Spain. So yeah, we realize we are aware and we want to work on it, right, Jonathan? We promise.
Yeah, I am working on it. It's a language that an extra complication is that, into my mind, it's a language that is easier to learn if you think in English. Yeah,
Yeah.
thinking in English while trying to speak is easier than thinking in Spanish.
English is close. Yeah, Dutch is closer to English and German than Spanish, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's
For
another
sure.
step, right? But I don't think it's impossible. I think it's a matter of commitment, as anything, and anybody can learn it. I didn't accomplish that mission yet, and I'm working on it.
We're on it. Boom. So let's get back to the career. We have like 5 minutes to wrap it up. So if anybody has any questions, please, this is the time. We have a few questions here connected to career. So how to take your career to the next level by really pursuing relocation. So you already gave some tips about communicate about it. Is there anything else that you can do to like really have an international career?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand also what the market is asking for. I mean, in the Netherlands, especially in Amsterdam, and maybe Maria, you have seen IT jobs, data-related jobs are exploding here. So, of course, for people with this background or knowledge, the number of opportunities might be higher. So if you don't currently work in an international company and you cannot move internally to an international experience, and you are looking from outside, look in that country what is relevant. So I have a few people I know here that are today working in data analysts, data leads, etc., in many different companies such as Booking or smaller ones. And they didn't know anything about data before they decided to come here. So they saw the opportunity, they started studying data, 6 months, 9 months courses. And after that, it was quite easy, let's say, or they had lots of opportunities. And now they are living and working in Amsterdam, working in IT and in data. So I would see, where do you want to go? What are the topics where I will get more opportunities in that market? If it's Amsterdam, these are some of them. And then I'm sure you will get opportunities. The competition is also bigger because when a job opens, many people from all around Europe can apply, but also there are lots and lots of opportunities here.
Yeah, speaking about that, Juliana is asking about, like what is the best advice you can give to South Americans, who are planning to move to the Netherlands? So let's talk about that specific case, our case.
Yeah, my best advice is do it. Take whatever it takes to do it. Take the risk that you have to take to do it, because the experience is amazing, both personally and professionally. This is a great place to live. That's why I see myself here long-term for the moment. So, of course, it depends on the situation. What document do you need to live here? If you have an European passport or partner or not. It will depend a lot on that. So that's the first thing to figure out, if you can come or you need to find a job before coming here. But I have examples from people from different backgrounds, people who came with a job like I was lucky enough to do it, people who took the risk. They decided this is the city where I want to live. They took the risk having an European partner or something, so no issues with the document, and they just being here. People who even struggled speaking English, now they are speaking fluent English and working because they took the risk to come here and see what they have to do to have the opportunity. And yeah, it's going to be a specific, I don't see any specific issues for being Latin American to come here. As I said, really open-minded city and country. People is extremely friendly. And I don't think being Latin American is a barrier at all for the opportunities that you will find here. So yeah, take the risk, take the opportunities that may come. because I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, getting out of the comfort zone might be painful at the beginning, but it pays off.
100%. And this is also applicable to internationals who are about to graduate or recently graduated from any Dutch university or institution, you know, the ones that we gather around our community at the Holland Alumni Network. I think that it's also important to take into account all these, you know, advice and tips on how to move forward when kickstarting your career. So for those who are already in the Netherlands, you have already taken the risk of relocation. You're already there. You already came as a student. I came as a student as well. And I can tell you that having a Dutch degree is also something that is appreciated, you know, when you're just finding your way through, because you had enough time to learn about the culture and the educational system. So I think that's also a plus.
Yeah, and I would say, just to finish, maybe is apply to the jobs that you find. I have also met cases here from, I have a Chilean friend who's now working for one of the biggest fashion companies, who has the headquarters for Europe here. And he applied from Chile to this company. He never worked in the industry before. And they brought him. He got the job. He didn't have any European passport or ID. So the company did everything, all the paperwork needed for him. And he got it. So trust yourself, apply, trust in your abilities, expertise, knowledge. The opportunities are here. Apply, and keep trying, because this experience may give you much more than any other one.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all these valuable insights and tips. It's really about that. And I really like that people can, you know, like with this In the Spotlight series that we're starting, we can get the stories behind the scenes, you know, behind how is life in the Netherlands, how you made all that happen. And I'm really happy for you. And I'm really happy about everybody that I see that accomplish their professional goals in the Netherlands. And about that, I want to just thank you for this and invite everybody to our upcoming events, because we're hosting regular events. We're going to have a webinar on how to find a job on LinkedIn. There you go. We're going to have a nice webinar on October, the 6th of October, on how to find a job using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really powerful network, especially in the Netherlands. People, as Jonathan experienced, really listen to you and are willing to grab a coffee, you know, with you. So don't think that is, oh my God, I'm not in the Netherlands, or I'm just a student, or I'm just not fluent in English enough. No, put yourself out there. So this is a good one, like how to find a job on LinkedIn. We're also cooking something really nice in combination with joining forces with the Rotterdam Venture Cafe. So we're going to be doing an international talent night. We're going to post it as well in our newsletter, and you just, you know, keep on following what we're doing. And really important, by the end of this year, like the 19th and 20th of November, we're going to host our first international job fair. It's called Here to Work. It's our virtual job fair. Jonathan and I and many other members of the Holland Alumni Network and people that we collaborate constantly, we're going to be sharing our tips, knowledge, giving you access to HR and managers, and also coaches and mentors on careers, especially for internationals. So make sure that you join. We're going to post all this in comments, and we're also going to leave a little link where you're going to be able to be invited to all these events and join, not only sign up for the database, but also that we can listen to what are your interests. You know, what are you looking for? What topics can we bring to our table on our regular events? And yeah, just let us know, because we're here to help, and we're here to make things happen with the help of all of our community. Thank you, Jonathan, for this.
Maria, thanks
Thank
to
you for your time as always. And we stay in touch. And thank you for everybody who was, you know, joining the conversation. Feel free to ask anything via comments. We're going to be checking what happens with this video, because we're going to continue rolling what happens. We're creating a nice impact with content based on amazing people like Jonathan. Thank you for that. And thank you for everybody for watching.
Maria, thank you.